Don Juan. I met Don Juan in a coffee shop ice cream shop. It was the first time I had been in a place like that. He occupied the small house where the recently opened business was located. Right across from the main plaza or central garden. The whole family took care of the place, Don Juan, his wife and children. They dispensed different flavors of ice cream, the ever-present lemon sherbet with red wine, as well as coffee, tea, cakes and cookies. I had a pleasant time and enjoyed my coffee but was left with a burning curiosity. How had Don Juan managed to open that business when just a few days earlier they were selling turkey and mole to survive and keep ahead? They did that every Sunday. They would bring out a modest wooden table covered with a very clean tablecloth on which they had mole, tacos, small dishes of jelly and cider for sale. They would place it on the street, right in front of the building that now houses the new ice cream shop. I was very curious. I walked through the town's old cobblestone streets and got home. Sitting at the table about to have my evening tea, I asked my parents who were acquainted with Don Juan, how had he managed to rent the place where he had opened the ice cream shop, since only wealthy people could afford to open a business in the center of town, and they told me that Don Juan was extremely wealthy. Not only had he bought the place where the shop was located, but in the same street, only a couple of blocks away, he had bought a big house where they now lived. Besides, they now owned several cars, many parcels of land, houses and lots of money. And they told me the story. Don Juan and his family had lived for many years in the outskirts of the city in an old house where they raised turkeys and pigs and subsisted with the sale of the pigs, turkey meat and mole. In one of the many humdrum days when Don Juan was feeding the animals, as he watched the pigs, he saw one of them uncover some small wooden boards under the mud with its snout. Since the black rubber boots he was wearing were full of holes, he was not sure he wanted to pick up those boards from the mud, but then he realized they may be of use to him. If he dried them he could use them as firewood to cook the turkeys and the mole. So he got into the muddy field, but when he tried to pick up the boards, he could not. It was practically impossible. Upon cleaning up the place he found out that the boards were nailed together forming the top of a crate, so very calmly he went out in search of a hammer to pull out the nails. He was back shortly and slowly, without giving it much thought or speculating about what may be in the box, he proceeded to remove the boards, but upon taking off the first one he was so amazed he almost fainted. The box was full of gold coins. Crying and thanking God most sincerely, he proceeded to take the top off, and the rest is history. In the early days of December Don Juan came to our house and invited us to celebrate Christmas with his family. When the day arrived the two families went to church to give thanks. We were all curious about what we were going to have for dinner. Already on the table was the ever-present turkey and mole, free-range turkey of course, tortillas made by hand, the traditional rice with peas, refried beans with cheese, cider and buñuelos with pil on sloe syrup accompanied by atole blanco. So all we had to do, was bless our food,